And Grace won't be able to stay on long because she's sitting on the side of the road on her way over to get my mother for a medical appointment.
Okay. Well, we're recording, we're alive.
All right, well, welcome to the meeting. We can review the folders and jump in with the folks who are on Zoom. As soon as they're all there, I guess. We expect 4.
I didn't get confirmation that everyone was joining, did you, Chuck?
No, well, Chris and Winston are both working, so my guess is they may or may not be here. Just response to this, meeting thing, looks like we have to go and do something. Something you have access to?
Yeah, I had to research it. Chris printed that out and put it in there, so I don't know what it is.
What is that one?
The boundary line survey thing that we looked at a week or so ago, a couple meetings back, apparently we do have to go in on the website and just write no changes. Otherwise it becomes a
Okay.
continuing contact information for us.
Keep sending it back.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my name on the top of it.
Nothing in the action from last week. If we've got everybody we think we're gonna get, we can just go attend to these.
I think that would be
Yeah.
right. So I can ask Jason and Grace to unmute and run one at a time.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, Susan should be able to hear us. Okay,
Morning, Susan.
and Grace.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Greg.
Good morning. Good morning.
Let me see what's going on here.
Is this Mission Impossible?
I have to give you a call back in the meeting right now, but I will be open. Yeah, I'm in a meeting right now, so I can't talk, but I'll be
Okay,
open.
Susan, can you speak?
Oh,
I can hear you.
All right, terrific. How about Grace?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
morning, ladies. You with us, Tom? Okay. All right. Well, the irony isn't lost on me, Susan. I think it was in 2010, you were part of the board that appointed me to the Historic District Commission.
That could be
Oh, it was.
memorable.
It was for me. I hope it is as memorable for you.
I'm sure it will be.
I'm sure. Well, obviously, you're both well qualified to understand and participate on the Historic District Commission. So from my standpoint, that isn't going to be any kind of an issue. But I was hoping if you wanted to serve on this commission, since there isn't, arguably, there's not a functioning commission right now putting anybody's names forward. I felt I would like to have you folks join us before we just pointed everybody out of hand. I know in other boards that I've served on, we've had people actually put in little summary letters about themselves and why they want to serve on the ZBA. The planning board has done some of that, and I know the budget committee right now does that. So thank you for joining us. One of the things I just wanted to cover with folks who are joining this commission is that in the zoning ordinance and especially in the historic district regulations, there's a lot of ambiguity for applicants. It seems very stated to be very subjective, in harmony with, statements like that when you're kind of applying whatever you want to a homeowner's property, whether it's landscaping or exterior view, what they're doing on the property with windows and doors and so forth. So one of the things I know from having some discussions with people who've been around and owning properties in the historic district for some time is several of them haven't been comfortable with some of the process in the past. And I guess there's only about 49 properties, unimproved and improved properties, I think, in the district. So it's a very small percentage of the folks in the town that are affected by this. So on their behalf, I'd just like you folks to consider these things when you deal with some of these folks, because I think we've alienated some folks, especially two of the really iconic properties that are up on Lord's Hill, Lord's Tavern and the Lord's Mansion. Those folks don't even want to come back and work with the district commission at all, from what I understand. And consequently, repairs don't seem to be taking place anywhere there. So my hope is that there's a way for the commission to do a little outreach and try to maybe do what you can to establish maybe some relations that may have been damaged in the past. And that's pretty much all I wanted to share with anybody who wants to join. Is I think we could benefit from a little bit of outreach or something. I don't know what the answer is to try and get people back to working with us. One of the things that's come up recently has been to deal with driveways. There's some are tarred, paved, others are not. It doesn't seem like everybody's getting treated. Maybe circumstances that before the district was created versus after, but I know that there's a couple of elderly ladies that have mobility problems. One of them paved, that became an issue. Another one I found lady off the side of her driveway this past summer, and she had fallen. She has a bad leg and was out there for a couple of hours before I came along, helped her up and got her in the house. So I guess mobility issues might be a consideration if somebody's allowed to pave a driveway when you get mud season and winter and stuff. So I'm just looking to point out that maybe at times we haven't really considered things fully, and in the regulations there might be room for improvement when your board convenes to look. So thank you for bearing with me through that. And with that, do you have any questions on your end or anything you'd like to say, either of you?
No, I don't have any questions. Susan, go ahead.
No, I was just wondering what the terms of appointment are. They're, different people, they're kind of staggered 3-year terms usually. So if you're appointing, are you appointing for a certain period of time?
Yeah, very good. Typically, as you well know, I believe these are 3-year appointments, like most everything else we do in town. And with that, I think at least one person, the present chair, is up in 2022, and I think Ms. Finn might be as well. So I believe they're a 5-member board right now. So with that, I guess we just have to do the math on how many 3 years we want to have.
With some overlap, yeah.
Yeah, so 3s and 2s, because it's not, I think we have 1s.
So if we've got 2 coming up next year.
So we could have 2 3-year terms, 2 2-years, and I think the other people are on a 1-year at the moment.
So that would give us a,
And I believe we've got an old, bear with me, a town report from last year will have the information. Get to the terms here, who's doing what? Yeah, we've got the 2 people that are on the board now, their terms expire 2022. So on today's menu, we can have a 2-year appointment or a 3-year. The both of you can do either one.
why don't we start 1 2-year, 1 3-year, that way we can get it.
Well, you 2 more people are
As
theoretically.
alternates, but they're coming in as alternates.
Oh, okay.
So, the normal board is 4 plus for 5,
4, right.
4 plus 1, yep.
Okay.
So if we did 2-year and 3-year, then
Okay.
we can do a 1-year and whatever the second comes out to.
All right. Well, I guess reason seems to dictate that we'll have a 3-year and a 2-year opening. So what's your pleasure, ladies?
I'll take it. Go ahead, Susan.
Doesn't matter to me.
No, doesn't to me either. But if you need to flip a coin, I'll take a 2-year. But makes no difference. We'll be working together, so we'll make it work.
Okay. Susan, how do you feel about that? You into the long haul?
I'll do what is needed to be done. I was thinking about the historic district and realizing that it has been in existence maybe 2 decades before the town even adopted zoning. And so I think there's very strong and long-term support for preserving our historic resources in town and recognizing what a resource they are to the town. So I would like to see this board function like the people decades ago hoped it would. So whatever I can do to help with that, I'm happy with. So 3 years is fine. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, I think you won the big prize then. I believe
Is it a prize?
it is for us.
Okay.
I believe the district, the commission was formed in 1988, as memory serves me. And yeah, I know that property owners I had spoken with, certainly there was a fair share that weren't huge supporters at this point in time of the commission. But everyone I had spoken with this past year does support the historic districts. So I guess that is the challenge, is to
To get things functioning,
excuse me?
to get things functioning properly.
Right. And again, the ordinances, as I read them, are pretty wide open to work with people. And I think that's part of the challenge, is not only working with people, but having some equity in that process. And my feeling is that maybe some of that has been lost in certain cases. So with that, I will make a motion. I have a second. Second. Tom Hart seconds. All in favor?
All right.
Hal and I. Chuck, would you like to make the second motion? There's a little connection for you here.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to appoint Grace Fuller as a 2-year position on the Historic District Commission.
I'll second that. With that, all in favor?
Aye.
Hal and I. And there you go. Less painful than getting your teeth cleaned at the dentist, I hope.
Congratulations, Grace.
Good. Yeah, same to you, Susan. Looking forward to it. Thank you,
Okey-doke.
gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to mention one other thing, since you're full board members now, or commission members. I don't believe the minutes have been posted to the town website since my wife was the chair back in March of 2019. So that might be something you might want to catch up on, just a FYI detail.
Yeah, I think I heard they're in the binder, so yep, we'll have to check on that. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nominate the 2 alternates.
They're not here, and I think I'd like to continue the process of having a little exchange.
Right.
More functionary than anything, but some of the things we've gotten away from in the past, I think maybe are worth.
We'll see if we can get it on the next meeting or two.
Yeah,
And the weather today, last night's weather, I think contributed to the problem today for them to show up.
I know the feeling.
Yep.
I call it exhaustion, but anyway. All right, back to the folders, I guess.
Manifest, yeah. I haven't seen it. No, that's never good. Oh, yeah, the holy cow's never good.
Well, it was a matter concerning a board that we okayed some legal services. I guess I didn't expect that they were going to have the attorney present through all the sessions. We've never done that before. So the new bill that just came in is shocking, I guess. I think down the road of life here, maybe we're gonna have to revisit some processes that used to be in place regarding, the legal services. What we used to do and should reestablish here first is that the board comes up with what is the basic question that we're going to reach out to the attorney for, or questions, and just, have, say there's 3 questions. We have discussed that that's generally what we're going to do, and then we make a motion in the vote, or even if it's casual, to just say, Tom's gonna reach out, or Chuck, or Mike, whoever's gonna cover it. And that's the way forward, and other boards should be having that discussion too, so that nobody's just ad hoc calling. It's gotta be a discussion on the boards. And if the legal fees are gonna be like this, then I think that there was a sign out sheet for boards way back in the day that would be informing the selectmen that this is what, they were gonna do. I don't wanna go that far unless things are out of hand. But I would think maybe there should be a little bit of, we should be informed that the boards are gonna reach out perhaps and just have, well, you have 3 basic questions on land use, this, that, the next thing. Okay, great. Because now this whole total bill, I think with the previous bill probably was over $5,000. That's not what I had.
Yeah, I want to look at what's there.
Yeah, well, there was a previous one that was on our old budget, and now this is just ate up a huge amount of money on this year's budget. It's just, had I known they were planning to have somebody attend all the meetings, I think I would have objected to that.
And when we hire like that, we pay for that, right?
We pay for
I mean, that's not charged back to the system.
that. So, assigning an outside attorney to give legal advice as needed it's the practice that I've known. To have legal counsel sit in on full hearings and meetings and stuff, it's like, whoa, we don't do that with our attorney. So that one was a little bit of, didn't see that one coming.
And the other coaching, you say we're going to set a meeting. It doesn't need to be a 3-hour meeting, it can be an hour, or 15, and that is manage the process a little. That also has an effect on those kinds of bills.
Yeah, here again, we originally were looking at one attorney, and the chair decided for other reasons, not for qualification reasons, other reasons, not to go with the attorney that we brought forward. And we've used this other attorney in the past, or had some work with. I think next time, maybe when the board okays an attorney, maybe that's the way to go, because it's certainly.
So we have to dictate the attorney the.
Well, I'm not sure. We're paying the bill.
I know we're paying the
So
bill.
I don't know. But you know attorneys, and you have, who they are, you've worked with them before, you have some insight to them. Is that the way to go or not? Otherwise, I think we're gonna need to know more if we're going on outside attorney and they're going to pick them, because what is the rate like? What are we approving? So.
There's gotta be a contract or something like that, right?
An approval to work with, and we signed that, but we didn't, again, this is not,
Okay.
and.
Further
and-
definition on what we approve also is.
Well, again, I've never seen anything like this happen before, so I guess maybe we didn't think it through to that level because it was so not expected. Now seeing this, I think we have to adjust our position and figure it out. Whatever I'm saying now is just random thoughts going through my head. They're not absolutes. I think we're gonna need to work on that though. So this is Primex initial bill for the year. I think once you see this, you'll probably have some support for the position I'm taking. I know. Or that I'm spewing. Is that one, Tom? That signature folder or?
You didn't get it yet, whatever. Yeah, it might have been this one.
I don't know signature yet. That's me. Thanks. I have not heard back from Ms. Boyden on that email address concern that she had.
Looks like she had going on with some
Yeah,
issues last week.
I had reached out prior as well, and that was unanswered, so given some time, I expect she'll get that. And I spoke with town forester on his proposal, and we talked it through, and I expect him to provide some amended language.
There is something in the folder, I wasn't sure if that was new language.
Oh, okay. Dated February 15th, so I think this is the old
I
language.
thought so too.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a change in price on the wood.
Right.
So, okay.
And mostly what we were looking for, the discussion was about reflecting market prices, and it's so it's such a long span, so, yeah, Jeff will be getting back. So we had an email, asking about sanding on Libby Road. I guess maybe they might stop a little short of what the normal process is. Sometimes the help changes, different people get a route, whatever, so I can talk to Ron about that. I'm also looking to see if we can't get Ron in because of some recent issue that you brought up, you know, and I've had some contact, I've been reached out to.
We rode in front of the Effingham water.
Okay.
They literally went down the road just ahead of me,
Yeah,
and they left the window right in front of me.
okay. But there's a few things going on. So I was considering that we probably, since there's going to be other people involved as far as names and issues, if I have a non-public with
Yeah,
him.
that's good.
Yeah, okay. The auditor's letter, did that,
Oh, I need to reprint that. I hadn't heard back from Tim. I asked him to see, let me know if he received it snail mail and rather have you sign it. So maybe I should just have you sign a second one anyway.
yeah, we can sign it and scan it.
Yeah, if you all could see me before you leave.
Okay, and did you have on your list the 2016 and 17 audit?
I do have that on my list.
Did you have any luck getting it off?
You know, I didn't have hours yesterday with the snow.
Yeah.
I got out of here.
Sure.
I didn't have it yesterday. I will look for that today for you.
Yeah, because I don't know if that's been retained
I
digitally
think
or
it's all
not.
right.
Because I know now you have the 14 to 15, the 18's on here. We'll be getting the 19. If we don't receive that in short order, we still have the draft.
Correct.
So, okay, yeah, we have audits and there's only one audit in there. We've been using this firm since 2014, so, great.
But I believe I've seen those.
Okay, super. Get those out so folks can at least follow that progression.
Right.
They're financially solvent. Well, it wasn't the case.
That's always a good thing.
Well, it wasn't the case in 17. The unassigned fund balance was underwater and we've been steadily building up. We paid our bills all the way through December without relying on the December tax bill last year. That was,
Right.
That is a huge plus.
it's a milestone, so.
To pay your bills in the current year. It's government.
Well, we did that carrying almost $640,000 of delinquent taxes in 2020 alone. So whether you deferred tax revenue for the first 60 days, then there become something on it.
We have someone in the waiting room. I could admit them and see who they are, or
Yeah, well, they want to watch the meeting.
they're on the phone, so let's ask.
Okay,
You want to ask them, they're admitted.
so there's no name to show up when we call in?
Correct.
Oh. So we have a viewer slash caller. Did you have business with the board today?
All right. I'm muted.
Don't know who that is. All right. Okay. Deanna about the ADM for the school?
This is Deanna's first day back from her foot injury, so I've not seen her yet today.
Oh, okay.
She does not have computer access at home, so,
It was just on my
yeah.
remind me list.
I know, I have a Deanna list.
Okay.
The computer we purchased her for is right there. Yeah, it does not work well at home.
It does not boot up. So Brandon thought maybe there's something loose on the board because it sounds like a jet plane taking off.
All right, with that, I guess we got our meeting minutes to go through, so I'll make a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes of February 17th. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ooh, these guys, that's a buzzer.
There was a
call.
slight
It's like
hesitation.
pause.
All in favor?
All right.
Yeah, Helen, aye. Again, I'll make a motion to accept the non-public meeting minutes of February 17th, the first session. All in favor?
All right.
Yeah, Helen, aye. I'll make again another motion to accept the non-public meeting minutes of February 17th, the second session. All in favor?
All right.
Yeah, Helen, aye. And then we have our meeting minutes for the public hearing on February 17th. I'll make a motion to accept those.
All second.
All in favor?
All right.
Yeah, Helen, aye. All right. Then we have a manifest in the amount of $404,430.64 that contains a school payment of over $340,000 to the Governor Wentworth School District. I will make a motion to approve the manifest. Do I have
All
a
second.
Mr. Fullerwind, all in favor?
All right.
Cahalan, aye. With that, we went through the signature folder, nothing noteworthy in there, nor in the mail, nor in the action folder. But before we get to Audrey here, there was one email in there that a gentleman, Mr. Rich Comer, was looking for a little clarification. The question is, can the Board of Selectmen provide a clarifying statement that even though the March votes in other towns will be counted and announced, the Governor Wentworth School District issues will not be officially final until after Effingham votes, regardless of whether we affect the outcome or not. To the best of my knowledge, should they announce, our votes in Effingham will count on the school ballot. So if that changes anything, the warrant article, the budget, or I think there's only one contested race, and if it changes the outcome of that race, that will be the official result. So Effingham's votes will count, and they will affect anything just same as normal. We're just going to be the last ones to be counted. There's no effect on, what was it, the teachers' contracts or anything like that. In fact, we have a letter from the school district that had input from the school district's attorney, and that is posted on the Effingham town website. And to follow up beyond this, I don't get Facebook, but it was brought to my attention that we even have someone in our firefighting service here, a firefighter that had a question, I guess it was, whether or not things would affect the teacher's contract, us moving the meeting, or potentially the ambulance contract. Those things would not be affected. Nothing will be adversely affected, no payments, no contracts. There's actually no impact by moving the meeting to May on any of our commitments in the town of Effingham with any of our vendors. This is pretty much a lot about nothing. And another thing, I guess, that wasn't covered in our public hearing as far as moving the meeting, actually moving the election date, was that by law, we have to provide a second polling place if we are not going to allow people without masks into the school. So on that note, we have a lot of our poll workers who will not work the polls if people are going to be allowed into the school without masks. That puts us in the position of needing a second polling place. And for everybody probably remembers, we had a couple of tents in the past elections for the primary and the general election. Those are the requirements by the state. In March, we can't accommodate that. We don't have a separate facility that we could set up in kind because tent rentals are not available in March due to the cold weathers and the potential cracking and damaging to the tent and setting them up also in snow. If that's a snow-covered ground is a problem. So logistically, that was another concern. It is not, it's really not something that we can handle with a second polling place as outlined by the state. So hopefully that clears it up for some of the people who have concerns that we may not have covered everything. We did have 4 meetings with the town moderator, town tax collector, town clerk tax collector, the board. We had input from the school system, school board members. We got clarification all the way down the line. And in our 4th meeting, the motion originally made stood because there was no negative effect to the school district, to the town, anybody involved. And with that, hopefully the issue is about as closed as it can be from our end. If you're getting your information from Facebook, I can't help you. If you get your information from the town's website or these meetings, chances are you'll be a little better informed. But there again, it's up to people to decide where they want to get their information. With that, Audrey, we swing over to you.
Okay, tomorrow, today we have Jonathan in helping us catch up with the assessor's work and confirming what Chris and I are doing, we're doing correctly. And then tomorrow, I have the accountant in that you had identified, and he's gonna start helping us with a couple of higher level accounting questions versus standard bookkeeping questions. And then next Wednesday, we have the computers coming and the computer person in. So that's good news. I finally heard back from Ryan's yesterday because we had received from AmeriGas their increase and they were going to do 65 cents per gallon over what their cost is. Ryan said he would charge us 40 cents per gallon over. I haven't seen the change in the AmeriGas bills that I processed yesterday. So we can look at that. The new state contract doesn't go into effect until July. So Kerry from Ryan's recommended we wait until then, but until then he is willing to do the 40 cents. So I would need to work with one of you to identify what the containers we have are, the tanks we have at each place.
Yeah. The only tanks available that we could go into right away is the one here. Other ones are property of the companies AmeriGas. So the one here at this building is owned by the town. And with that, I've got a couple of questions. One is, what was last year's state price that would still be in effect now, the contract? So is that encompass the 40 cents over? That would be my question.
Yeah, they're losing money on that right now. They're not really wanting to take new clients on that because they are losing their shirt. So I didn't ask them what the price was.
Well, it's the state contract. Are they bound to provide? So with that, I would say there's a state contract. You're the provider. You won the contract. If you underbid it, that's not necessarily, hate to say it, but our problem. So I don't know that they could charge us 40 cents over if that's not a contract. Maybe so. Don't know. With that, I guess my next question would be for both companies or another vendor, do you sell the 1,000-pound tanks, 1,000-gallon tanks that we get propane in that get the library? It's either a 500 or 1,000, I guess.
500 up there, plus a 250. So there's 2 of them actually up there.
Okay, so there again, maybe a 1,000-gallon tank. I'd like to know if there's a price for those, or if either company like Amerigas, if they'd sell us the 500, but we probably want 1,000, I'm guessing, so. If we could own our own tanks at these facilities that have great usage, the library in this building, that's what I'd probably lean towards. Station 1, just having a little tank there is probably sufficient.
Which one's Station 1?
That's on Lord's Hill on Route 153 there, Province Lake Road.
Three bottle tanks, I think, behind the building.
Is that what it is?
Are they in good condition? Do we want them?
We don't want to buy those, but those are the things we would stay with the vendor having supplying the tanks. What we probably want to do is not have autofill and start regulating when it's getting down to fill or not, because when I don't know if they give us back the money on those when
Right.
you gas. I think they might credit you, but that would be the other question, I guess. Otherwise, we might want to run it close to empty.
Yeah, that was my thought, because most of them have recently been filled. Okay. All right,
So there's a way to do an automated monitoring with wireless, which is free as long as you're getting your LP from the vendor. And that way we can basically say we don't want to do anything until we get down to 10%. What I'm fearful of is if we basically take off autofill, what we did last year, we ran out of gas there. And it's like, I don't want to not use autofill, particularly with the library building, this building. I think we need to do autofill, but I think we need to get in that state contract too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, state contract's gonna be lower than anything else.
And just for clarification, we weren't the ones monitoring before. We were on autofill when it ran out.
Yep.
So,
Nope.
just so
Yeah.
people listening,
Yeah, that's
it's
good.
like,
Good.
what are you guys doing over there?
okay, I'll have more information next week.
Awesome.
Have we gotten any resumes in or anything for the assistant position?
That's right.
Yes, and probably 1 out of 10 have assessing experience. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'll be looking at him more carefully and screening him.
Okay, yeah, because I think that we're probably seeing some charges on that assessing bill as I look, that due to hours that we pay under the contract.
Yes,
And that was another area that we probably want to look at, because if I saw 24 hours and the number besides it, that seems to exceed the amount per hour was 75. So 24 times 75 doesn't equal $2,425, whatever I saw. So
their bill's funny, it's cumulative, so you have to take the top one and add the second one.
I'm well aware,
Yeah,
and this was the first item on the line, so
Okay.
it was pretty easy to say, not too sure, want to look at that.
all right.
You know me, I'm funny with numbers.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a real pain in the what? Okay, we'll skip that.
Those are all my comments.
Thank you, Audrey. Tom, what do you got today?
I got the sign over here. How you guys wanna, I went through the shed, so all we had in there, I got a pretty complete list of what we already have. Detour with arrows, we got 3 regular detours, a couple detours with arrows, 3 road closed, 24-inch stop, a 30-inch stop out there. 1 yield and no through trucking. For my order, I don't know if you guys want to look at this, let me read it off. or-
I think you can just read it off.
I got 4 24-inch stop signs. I get 4 35-mile-an-hour speed limit signs, 4 25-mile-an-hour speed limit signs. And once again, these are gonna be added to what's out there. 4 no through trucking, 18 by 24s, 6 dead ends, 18 by 24, 2 yields, 8, that's a bit of size now on the hardware too. I also got down here, I got 8 10-inch galvanized U-channel posts. I got 30 vandal-proof tough nuts and 30 vandal-proof tough bolts. We got 2 summer road signs out there, summer camps. Also, and just totaling this up with what I got I have a book here, and in this book, there were some highlights, and I believe you must have went through this a few years back.
Like yet last year, I think, or the year before, yeah.
And, so that was a help, actually, from your chicken scratching here.
Good.
But it's gonna come from close to $1,000.
Do we have the correct pointing arrows and detour word signs to cover us what we're gonna need to do for the bridge construction at Snow Road Bridge?
Well,
Pushing people over
I
to,
bought one arrow going this way, one arrow going that way, and I bought a couple of just says detour.
Yeah, we have 3 of those mounted detours.
And I think that's probably gonna be
Okay.
significant because it's only the loop onto Colquitt
Yep.
from Snow, and the contractor should have signage.
so I mean, 153 is really
Yeah.
the thing, and then making sure we get sawhorses or something after the lower date, so they can
Right.
try and drive over an empty bridge.
Yeah, we got a road closed, bridge closed out there already. Like Mike said, we got 2 detours with arrows each,
I didn't hear any, road weight limit postings or no through truckings.
We got 4 weight loading postings out there. We want more?
Oh, 30 ton?
Yeah.
Okay. And, no through truckings you covered, that's right, didn't you?
Yeah, I got 4 of those.
I think there was a price point of $1,000 to hit, and then you get 10% off. I think that was what I read. Of course, that was a year or 2 ago.
So let me ask a question, and your background's probably better for it. We have volunteers making 6 sawhorses to be able to use for the outside contractor work around the library. So they're gonna make them up, and, Chris gave them the design to do, and they've got the lumber, they're gonna do it on their own, donate the time and lumber. Do we want, is there a sign of some kind that we could kind of nail onto that to make it even more prominent? That, and I don't know what it would say, that's why I'm asking, but just make it prominent that, hey, don't go here.
Sign on a sawhorse?
Yeah,
What sign are we thinking of
Like
here?
close?
well, at this point, once they start doing like the painting of the building,
Yeah,
they're not gonna be able to go around the building. So we'll have to have a sawhorse on this side, sawhorse on the back side, so people can't drive that way.
Yeah.
And then once they start doing the parking lot side, we're gonna need kind of one on the front, one on the back, and a couple on the sides, to be able to make sure people aren't trying to drive into the area or whatever. So we're doing 6, we're building 6, which will eventually, they'll be town. I mean, it's like, it's gonna be built for the town. But I just was wondering if there's, beyond painting something orange or white, is there something else we wanna put on there, or just let it go?
gee, I don't know. For
I
using
mean, we
the,
don't need to make a decision on it right now, but I just, I think when you said signs, it's like, dude, we need to put something on these sawhorses that kind of tells people what to
We
do?
might just have some closed signs out there.
Okay,
I'll look though.
okay,
Get done before I put this in.
all right,
and then, I know we have some plastic sawhorse kind of things with a yellow and white or
Yeah.
orange and white
Sorry.
barricade kind of thing. There's
Okay.
2 of them. So I don't know if those would be helpful in your application.
well, I mean, we know we can get 6 more for the town, and they're gonna be built to
Yeah.
a good standard, we can paint them and flag, put whatever reflective we want, we can do whatever we want, because they'll be ours,
Yeah, yeah.
so.
And someone spent a lot of time out there, might have been you.
What's that?
They took, frost eve signs that we got last year, and how had trouble with those. And they were actually screwed on, so someone put them on plywood back, and
Oh,
it's
yeah,
gotta be,
that was me. I
I was
have
impressed.
a panel saw, so you can get 20 out of it.
There was a week where you didn't have much to do.
Right.
Which I can't believe, but it's like,
But that had to take a couple days.
It wasn't that bad. I actually put backs on some other stuff that we bought, some of these, like the election kind of sign material. So I zipped up some of those, because they were the inexpensive purchase that I think you found, actually, a lot of that.
Back to your question about spending $1,000 more, it's actually price for 6 or more.
Oh, yeah.
It goes price each or 6 or more. And that's why I put all the signs, because I measured them and I have 2 different signs, but if I went the 18 by 24s on everything that, the speed limit, the no through trucking, dead end. Because when I was able to combine them, and it brought us down to the lower price.
Okay, so are those for 6 signs of a certain, whatever, stop sign, you get 6 or more, not,
Right, yeah, single color, double, whatever your paint scheme is. So,
you might wanna call that number though and check in with them, because there used to be a cumulative dollar amount as well. And I don't know if that would be in play or not. And if it is, we might wanna make sure we hit that to get the savings. I mean, 10% of $1,000, $100, so,
It's a few signs.
yeah. And I did go through the shed. It might have been last year. I think it was last year. And I cleaned up, there was so much trash and debris and stuff in, cleaned it all out, and I organized all the signs as best I could, because you don't have slots for everything,
so I
so.
know they're pretty much organized out there.
Yeah, it won't last, but, so.
Yeah, all right, well, I'll call about that too. Is there anything else that,
No, I mean, this was the first purchase of, you probably have another order, but this will get us moving.
yeah, well, yeah, we need more, but this is the ones that we kind of need.
Yeah, and that's,
Key stuff that we need to have now.
Yeah.
yeah, then we can have Randy or Ron, if Randy wants to do it, that's probably more cost effective. But otherwise, we'll get the road crew if we have to.
All right. That's about it. You guys don't have any other questions on these?
Not at this point, I mean, we have a big list, if it's a dent, right, so.
I just can't believe how expensive these are.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. Well, I've been bumping up the sign budget for different things, transfer station and here, and it's, you know what it is? People weren't using it. Other boards, they just weren't putting signs out, and when you go around town, that's pretty obvious.
And there's quite a few that have knocked, like I told you guys earlier, that have knocked over or bent down or behind trees. Or, 6 feet off the ground, speed on the sign, which is almost covered now.
We've got a lot of delineator posts, and the delineators, the white, so, like on Green Mountain Road, where we're rebuilding all that, for culverts, we should try and mark those. And maybe like you say, so they don't get nailed and flattened, maybe we should even push them a little further back off the road, because it's not really to tell traffic so much that they're there, but we'll find them if the road gets neglected for, dozen years.
And the vandal-proof, tough, not a vandal-proof tough holes, I told you, Chuck, that actually came from your Cobalt guy doing the work for the library.
Chris, yeah.
He sent me a thing about those and looking it up, and they actually have them in here.
Perfect.
So,
Perfect
Thank you
until
for
we
that.
try to. So,
off to you, Chuck.
All right, yeah, I've got a short one, small week. It was basically working on historic town hall project stuff, so we did get some additional requests for information from the L-Trip review team up in Concord. And I was able to respond to that last week and over the weekend. And I had a discussion with the Norm Larson, Christopher P. Williams architects about beginning the architectural plans that we need to have done. If we are able to get conditional approval on some of the exterior work, there still isn't going to be an approval on the interior stuff like HVAC or the ceiling or whatever until they actually see the architectural plan. So some of the work we were kind of hoping to get done starting in the beginning of the summer. By the time everything gets into the till and gets reviewed in Concord, we're probably going to be the latter part of the summer for some of it. So, but a lot of the outside stuff should be starting in the May timeframe.
nice. Yeah, everything, no matter what you try to do, you have goals, expectations, you think you got something locked down, and that's the timeframe for the municipal stuff always seems to push out.
And Chris has been working on standardized construction contracts for us to use for the 12 different areas we're gonna be dealing with in this project.
Oh, good. I have been informed, and once again, I don't get Facebook, but I've heard that there's people out there that say that grants are easy to find. So I don't know what's taking us so long.
Yeah,
All I can say is if it's that easy, go do it.
Yeah.
and this is the second
It'll help
time this
your
has come up
tax.
too.
If it's that easy, go do it and bring the money into the town and it'll help reduce the town's taxes.
I'll tell you, maybe it's me, but I didn't find the process easy, streamlined, or efficient in time. Even after my work was theoretically done, it just doesn't seem to be done. It keeps coming back. There's always delays. There's something, there's investigations, more. So, yeah. So I love the idea. It's like, oh yeah, grants are, snap your fingers, they're done. People just line up to give you money.
No, just for that LCHIP grant, we had 4 different people working on it besides myself. And I'll be willing to bet over the 3.5 months, we probably logged 150, 200 hours creating that document.
Whoa. Going back to the USDA grant, I put in tons and tons of hours. I can't even remember. It was just me. And I got through that. And then when they finally went to doing the acceptance and, awarding and everything, I had to get the engineer involved because of some of these environmental studies and stuff. It's just no way I wouldn't know where to start. And fortunately, we have HEB, who has worked with the USDA on numerous things in the past. So they were able to navigate those waters. But it's like, yeah, all right, easy, huh? What'd you get a grant for?
And that's what I had. That's all I had to do.
All right, well, I've been pretty busy and calling and following up with people on different things. So I don't have any new work to bring forward. I owe Audrey a review of draft warrant articles that were about to be submitted. So I still owe you that, Audrey. Sorry.
I did send that to the entire board in case Tom and Chuck have comments.
Okay. Well, I knew I spoke specifically to you that I wanted to review it and get back to you. And somehow I was lax this weekend and didn't do that. I noticed that we had a 91A request from Mr. Edwards about a bridge contract for Snow Road. That contract actually has not been signed yet. There's been several things delaying that. Part of it was the Office of Budget and Management at the federal level, which backed things up into this year. And all the contract has been approved by our engineering firm, the USDA, and right now it's a conversation between our engineer and the bridge contractor with some final tweaking on engineering points, just to make sure that everybody is satisfied on materials being used, counts, whatever it is. There's a last minute detailed punch list that they're going through. And that was probably a week ago that kind of was circulating. So I will check with HEB to find out where we are. And if those guys are squared up, then we'll get that contract signed and that'll be available for the public to see. I think there was a draft contract from before, I'm not sure. And I can ask Chris Warner if we have that here or not. And if we do, we can at least get draft contracts out.
We just get that mark, each page is draft.
So I'll try to reach out and get a hold of Chris. All right, I am not going to waste any more time today either. I have a busy day ahead of me, a long night last night and early morning, so I don't see anything that can't wait until next week. With that, we can give you an extra hour or so back to your day.
Terrific.
Nice, all right. Any new business, anything?
Nothing.
Nope.
Excellent. I'll entertain a
I'll make a
motion.
motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All
right.
You want to think this over a little? All right, Kahal and I, thank you, everyone.